Accused number 4 in the case of the disappearance of 6-year-old Joslin Smith has abandoned her bail. Lourentia Lombaard faces charges of human trafficking and kidnapping. She made a brief appearance at the Vredenburg Magistrate's court on the West Coast. Now, the 6-year-old grade 1 pupil went missing from her home in Middelspos informal settlement in Childline more than a month ago. The case has been postponed to the 13th of May for further investigation. Lourentia Lombaard will join 3 other co-accused in the matter, including Joslin's mother, Cheryl Smith. Let's continue this discussion. In fact, Acting Director at Childline Western Cape, Cheryl Morilly, is going to be joining us to weigh in on this case. Also, developments around the disappearance of Joslin Smith. Cheryl, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us here on the SABC at this hour.
Good afternoon.
Cheryl, at this point, let's just talk to the realities of children in some of South Africa's most vulnerable communities and what's coming to the fore, particularly as we shine a spotlight on what transpired with Joslin.
Yes, we do have a situation where we unfortunately have so many children who find themselves in a situation where they are being neglected and unsupervised at certain times. We have a toll-free number. The helpline number is the 116 number, and we often get calls on that line from concerned community members reporting cases of children being neglected, children being unsupervised, and it's often against the parents, who are not taking the necessary responsibility. And often these are parents who are abusing substances. And so we have even grandparents calling us with these kinds of cases. So we have found that for child protection, while we and many other organizations, we go out and we try to raise awareness about child protection, and we often speak with the children about what they need to do to ensure their safety, what they need to do if they feel threatened or uncomfortable. The reality is really that we are also needing to speak more and more with the parents, Parents are needing to understand what their responsibilities are in terms of child protection, in terms of what is required from them. And we do find that many parents, they are struggling to survive. They go out to work. They sometimes don't have someone to care for their children, particularly during the school holidays. But our encouragement and motivation to them is to find help, to look for people in the community that is able to care for them. We afterward, normally we find that there are people available. There are people who sometimes will be happy to have a child around. So it's really a big issue. And as I've said again, we are needing to speak more with parents around their role and their responsibility in caring for their children.
Thank you for those opening sentiments. You've touched on a few themes there, just on the issue of upholding children's rights, looking at neglect and the role of parents, guardians and caregivers as well, also how it gets impacted through different socioeconomic conditions. You spoke about the role of also incorporating the community at large, and whilst that is a viable option, there are also some concerns, of course, vetting the safety of those individuals as well, which has also come to the fore somewhat this time round. What are some of those realities we also need to face in a South African context?
No, certainly. We obviously need more safe spaces for children. This is the reality. While we are able to maybe call on community members who are available, as you say, that also has some challenges. It is safe spaces that's needed for children. This is a reality because sometimes there may be a situation in the community when a child may even just be walking home from school and there's violence or gang violence or something like that happening in the community, and that child needs to get to a safe place, and so we need to be putting these structures in place, and these are actually issues that are under discussion in certain communities to make a way for children to be safe, because we as the parents and as the citizens too have a responsibility for children's safety.
And so speaking about creating these safe spaces, talk to us about the phenomenon in relation to unsupervised children, particularly during the school holiday season that we're approaching, the Easter holidays as well coming up.
Yeah, it's a difficult case. It's a difficult situation to have a solution for, because there are so many children that are unsupervised, but resources are needed. So we need to call on government to assist. We know that government is also stretched in this regard and with regard to child safety, but it's actually become an urgent matter that we need to desperately look at creating these spaces. There are NGOs, I've been in communities where there are actually so many volunteers who have taken up the cause of ensuring children's safety. You know, women who have become volunteers in their community, who have themselves started little networking and organizations to walk along pathways where children have to walk to and from school to ensure their safety. So it's going to need a lot of discussion, but also collaboration with the communities to see how they can bring their part to the fore as well.
No, absolutely. Which, speaking about collaboration and also just addressing the systemic issues, is where government also needs to come on board and play their part. And so as we look at the issues of, gaps in funding and resources as well, how does government begin to navigate that role?
Again, a difficult one, because we know that government is also challenged with funding for child protection. We as an NGO and all the other NGOs involved in child protection and other social sectors, we are feeling the pinch tremendously in terms of the services we have to render. It is a huge issue actually within the NGO sector that we are urgently in need of a way to see how we can get more funding. We're just about managing to do what needs to be required. And not even then. There are so many areas of child protection that's not getting the attention it needs, and this is one of them. So definitely government does have a responsibility. It has to be a collaborative effort, and we know that there are challenges there, but we need to keep on fighting. We need to keep on doing what we can in order to see how do we get through this, because we need to see that we are going to be successful. We can't give up. It's a cause that is urgently in need, so we cannot give up.